Good morning, friends. It's Joe. Welcome to my scripture reflection for Wednesday, January the 8th. I hope you are doing well on this Wednesday morning, middle of the week. Today, as I'm called, more often lately than not, to our local funeral home here in the town where I live that I've been associated with for a long time, since I was about 5 years old. I'm going to be doing a funeral for a family. I'm asked sometimes to come in and do a funeral service in the funeral home and accompany the family to the graveside. I find that this is a privilege, not an easy one, certainly, but I find it's a privilege that God has given me this grace and strength, honestly, because that's where it comes from to do this. And I always pray for the families before, during, and after. So I just ask for you to continue to pray for those who lose loved ones. It's a difficult thing for sure. With that, I will ask you to quiet your minds and hearts as we prepare to hear today's gospel, which is from St. Mark, chapter 6, verses 45 to 52. After the 5,000 had eaten and were satisfied, Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and precede him to the other side towards Bethsaida, while he dismissed the crowd. And when he had taken leave of them, he went off to the mountain to pray. When it was evening, the boat was far out on the sea, and he was alone on shore. Then he saw that they were tossed about while rowing, for the wind was against them. About the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them walking on the sea. He meant to pass by them, but when they saw him walking on the sea, they thought it was a ghost and cried out. They had all seen him and were terrified, but at once he spoke with them. Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid. He got into the boat with them, and the wind died down. They were completely astonished. They had not understood the incident of the loaves. On the contrary, their hearts were hardened. My friends, I ask you to consider a time when something that was the truth that you did not want to hear or experience impacted you, and you had a moment of stress, a moment of wanting to push the truth away because you did not want to deal with it. This is called suffering. This is called challenges of life. And certainly, as my intro spoke about, death is one of those times, a death of a loved one. It's the truth. It's something that we want try to push away, but it is the moment, and it is in the moment. And all of our trying to push away the truth or the moment that is at hand is what is contained in suffering. But sometimes this truth plays a role in our life more often than not that is certainly better for us long term. Jesus is the truth. Jesus replaces suffering with peace. Jesus understands our human condition that sometimes we push the truth or the present moment away because of the pain and suffering. And that is exactly what is happening in the gospel, in this image of the storm, which represents the truth, the storm, which represents our desires sometimes, outweighing the realities of the present moment, impacting those disciples who were there and trying to push it away, being afraid, being in need of trying to get away from it. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? But what does Jesus say? Jesus immediately shouts out, "Take courage, it is I. It is I. Take courage, it is I." And he asks them to come directly to him because he will quiet down the storm. He will quiet down that part of the truth that we do not understand. He will replace it with the truth of himself and those long-term positives that maybe we don't see at the moment. The key for us is that immediate reality that Jesus is there. He is there, and it is up to us to recognize him and take the courage we need during these moments. They happen in a little, small, seemingly insignificant way each day with a ache or a pain or a challenge that we are experiencing and driving to school or to work. And then they take on a little bit more significance in those times when things are really challenging. My best advice to you is similar to that of the training that I do for my martial arts and all other energy kind of training that I do and meditations and prayers, is that we tackle the little ones first. And that gives us a foundation for those that are a little bit more significant. The key is in that time frame, though, my friends. Consider it greatly that when the moment hits, we must realize and take that courage. Realize Jesus is there, and the long term peace is there as well. Well, my friends, that's my message for you on this Wednesday. As always, I hope it was helpful. I always welcome your comments and your thoughts, and I always appreciate your presence here with me. I am going to take care of this funeral today and do the best I can with that, and I ask for you to do the best you can with what is in front of you. I wish you all a wonderful Wednesday and next few days, and I look forward to seeing you back here Sunday for another scripture reflection. Take care, everyone.